G'day everyone and welcome to episode 601 of Aussie Tech Heads. It's the 13th of September 2018. How is going? It's Glenn here again for another week and joined by Joe this week. Hi Joe.
Hi Glenn, how you going?
Good, thanks. We got no Jordan this week. He's off doing something else. Can't come in. But we're going to bring you some great stories that have happened this week, including an overview of the Apple news, I guess. You know, the big story in town this week. We can't go a podcast without mentioning, I suppose, especially though it did come in or happen in the news early this morning at 3 a.m. But we are brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au. If you want some shared hosting goodness, then just go to athwebhosting.com.au. Sign up for a package or a plan, a hosting plan, and away you go. It's a drag-and-drop website builder, install WordPress in a couple of clicks, Joomla and all that sort of stuff, SSL certificates and domain registrations. Also on the network, don't forget the Aussie Tech Radio. You can get us on facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads, youtube.com/Aussie Tech Heads, and the other show on the network is the Aussie Mac Zone. So Michael and the gang will also be doing a special show this week because of the Apple event that happened earlier this morning. So that's 2 Aussie Mac Zones this week, so make sure you get both of those in your feed. Other shows, My Tech Opinion. I caught up with Shane and Phil last week and did, I guess, some sort of interview, so that should be getting published pretty soon. So make sure you subscribe to My Tech Opinion and see how that goes. It was a bit of a wide-ranging interview, I guess. Went from, I don't know, running a small business and how I got into that, and also podcasting and, 600 episodes and all that sort of stuff. So it was, I don't know, maybe it was interesting, maybe not. I'll let you guys let me know. But keep an eye out for that one. All right, so a couple of emails. But Joe, how's your week been?
Oh, mate, I've had a pretty busy week this week.
Yeah, it's been a bit flat out, hasn't it? It's soon as like I've been getting into this boot camp. I've been getting up at like, I don't know, it's about 4:30 3 times a week, including tomorrow morning.
I don't know how you do it getting up that early. I normally wait to do those sort of things late in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, I guess late in the afternoon it tends for me not to happen, and so I think early in the morning, like it starts at 6. It goes for about half an hour, so I'm pretty much back home by about 7. Pretty worn out, but it's done for the day, so it's not too bad.
Oh, that's good. At least you're doing something anyway.
Yeah, trying to get those blood flowing through the veins as fast as I can. Look, we've got a couple of notes this week on the YouTube. One from a watcher, dodecahedron. Or dodecahedron, I think it is. Look, he wanted to comment about the Sims and the multi-card Sims, but we might just leave that comment for next week because Jordan would be interested in that. So we'll let him. We'll read that part of his thing out next week. And he also went on to talk about something else about. Oh, we might just leave that. It's all Sims. I thought he was going to talk. He said he was going to talk about 2 things. So that's Sims.
Yeah, I saw that message there, Glenn. Might want to be interested in having a look at the Asus phone. I'm actually looking at that one myself. It's called the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1, and that's got 2 SIM trays and a separate SD slot. So you might want to have a look at that one.
Right.
And that's got 6 gig of RAMs, and it's got is it a quad core or is it octa-core? I'm not sure, but it's got a pretty good processor in as well. I'm actually looking at getting that one.
Right, okay. Did you see the Nokia phones that were released through the week?
No, I haven't actually had a look at those yet.
It was actually, I think Jace posted it up onto the Aussie Tech Heads Facebook site. I'll see if I can, if my internet starts to work. Here he goes. Yeah, it's the all-new Nokia 8110 is back. So if you guys remember the 8110...
that's the banana-shaped one, right?
Yeah, I'll see. I'll just try and see if I can get this up on screen so we can have a look at it. If anyone's watching on the video, which you can on YouTube each week. And normally we do Facebook Live, but because Jordan's not here, I couldn't handle the technology, so so we're just pre-recording. But there, can you see that, Joe?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, so it's the all-new Nokia 8110 hits Australia on September 20 for $129. So there you go. I don't know what that's all about, but anyway, Yeah, it's like got the little flip out for the keypad. It's just like an old style phone. I don't know why anyone would want to buy that. Maybe as a burner or something. But yeah, there you go. But the Asus, you reckon, Joe? We'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, the Asus ZenFone Max Pro M1.
Right. Okay. Right. And
Yeah,
what's that going to cost you?
Sorry?
What's that going to cost you? What's that set you back?
Last time I looked, it was around about $400, $420.
Right. Oh, that's not too bad.
It's a little bit more than the Xiaomi phones, but the reviews on it are really good. I have watched quite a bit of YouTube reviews from different people who actually use them, and I'm pretty big when it comes to specifications of the the cellular and the Wi-Fi signal. They've got a pretty good specifications, pretty good signal on that. Having said that, though, the Wi-Fi, I believe, is only 2.4. It doesn't have the 5 gigahertz band in it.
Right, and but is that really an issue? Like, to me, not so much, but to you, is that an issue for you?
For me, it's not. I usually mostly use the 2.4 gigahertz band at home, and the main reason I do that is because I have I believe that the 2.4 gigahertz band travels a little bit further than the 5 gigahertz band.
Yes, I think the 2.4 is, supposedly slower but goes further, and the 5 is faster but goes shorter. But
yeah, having said that though, I'm actually been playing around this week with some Internet of Things and some sort of home automation, and most, if not all, of the home automation stuff is all running on a 2.4 gigahertz band range.
Right.
So if I do decide to get the Asus phone, I'm going to be a bit concerned about whether there's going to be too much wireless happening on a 2.4 and nothing, that I can use to go on the 5. I mean, I've got an Asus router as well. So the the U68U or something like that. It's one of those dual core Asus routers, and that's also got the 5 gigahertz in it as well. So I'm not sure whether I'm still going to go with that, because I'm noticing that after a bit of playing around, like I said, on the Internet of Things and with some wireless home automation stuff, everything is going to be 2.4. So, if you've got, say, 5 or 6 different devices on 2.4, you're quickly going to saturate your network.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I looked at my network the other day, and I've got quite a few hanging out of it. It's I must have like over 20 devices. I don't think they're all accessing the internet all the time, but once you start getting Google Me's and Sonos's, and I think my Amp is Wi-Fi. You got the phones, of course. You got the tablets. You've got the PCs. You got laptops. There's a lot of Wi-Fi devices.
I can assure you that they may not be accessing the internet all the time, but they will be accessing your router all the time. I've done a bit of a checkup, and my router does have a little diagnostic tool built into it, and it does show you which apps are using which part of the bandwidth and for how long, and the amount of bandwidth that it's using as well. So I can assure you, even your Google Home that's just sitting there doing nothing,
it's doing something.
It's still talking to the network.
So when you said the router will tell you the apps, do you mean the actual apps or just the devices that it's using?
It does both. Apparently, the one I have does it. Like, I'll give you an example. If it's the Google Home Mini, and it's accessing the router, it'll come up and say the Google Home Mini is accessing the router. It tells you the speed. It tells you what protocol it's using to access the router.
Right.
And then it'll go ahead and it'll say, okay, that your Alexa is also accessing it. And it goes along and it shows you all the different devices that access it. And you have got the option, if you want to actually prevent that from happening. Like you can disable it and stuff like that.
Because I know our Google Mini just dings randomly, or probably not randomly. It seems to be happening just at the same time every night. So you just don't know what it's doing. Like, it must be just either it's rebooted or it's picked up something. But yeah, every now and then it'll just go dung 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 dung. You go, okay, hi Google, how you going? But yeah.
Like, have a look through what they call it, the little notes that you get in the app. You might be able to find out what it is.
Yeah, I did reset it and then did it again, and it sort of calmed it down a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It's picking up something. I've got to learn how to train it properly for different voices. So, because at the moment everyone talks to it, and so they say play a song. It's just all coming from my Spotify account. So then if I'm listening somewhere else, it'll cut me off. So I want to start to test it or program it, train it to the different voices to access the people's own accounts. But look, there's so we'll keep your email for next week, Dodeca, because it is all talking about SIM cards and slots and everything. Jordan will be interested in that. I've got another one here from Marcus S. Hi, Glenn and guys. Jordan was talking about a TV show called The Orville by Seth MacFarlane. Looks like it's starting on SBS On Demand this month. Doesn't say when, but just saw an ad for SBS. Yes, you are correct. I went and had a look, and I searched and uncovered that apparently, the funny new Seth MacFarlane space comedy launches on SBS Viceland on the 24th of September. So if you're into Seth MacFarlane space comedy, or just like watching SBS Viceland, make sure you watch the 24th of September. I've never heard of it. I might tune in, see what it's all about. Be good. Oh, okay. Let's get into some stories. We'll just do an overview of Apple stories a little bit later, but rather than just dump it all on you right now, I'll talk about something else a bit Apple-ish. Trend Micro tools have been removed from the Mac App Store over data exfiltration claims. It's a big word, isn't it? Now, the Trend Micro owned applications including Dr. Cleaner and Dr. Antivirus, pretty original names, have disappeared from the Mac App Store after experts, including the malware Byte Labs, which I like very, very much, suggested that their user data was being exfiltrated from these products. Now, I'm just going to actually Google what exfiltrated is. What does define exfiltrated? Means withdraw surreptitiously, especially from a dangerous situation. US forces agents have all been exfiltrated from Iran. Well, there you go. Learn something every day. So examining the app's code, the Malware Bytes team and others also claimed Trend Micro's repertoire of apps was sending data to a server in China based on a fact a domain was registered in the country, a charge that Trend Micro flatly denies, as they would, obviously. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but it looks like the problem has been uncovered and explained. Finally, the Trend Micro company has identified what it claimed to be the core issue, which is humbly the result of the use of common code libraries. Learning the data collection functionality was designed the same across all of its apps, regardless of whether this was necessary for the app to work. So
that's a bit worrying, Glenn, hearing that.
Well, it is, yes. And I guess like if you're a coder and, you're not probably really thinking about, are these code libraries and what am I using secure? You just go, oh, yeah, I'll grab that piece and I'll put that in because I need it. And, so it is worrying. Yeah. But anyway, the Apple Malware Bytes and Apple...
Because I say that.
Yep, sorry.
So I was going to say, I say that because the router that I'm using, in order for me to get those information that I was saying about what apps are accessing the network and what apps are doing this and doing that, I had to sign an agreement which Trent Micro said that they were allowed to collect information. Right. Okay. Well, not so much sign an agreement, but I had to have click the agreement button.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, well, I guess all these things these days, like, doesn't matter what you sign up for, they're all going to, grab your data, and they've all got to be upfront about it. But it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's Microsoft, Google, even doing a Google search. Apparently I heard the other day that Google are keeping your search results for 2 or 3 years. So even if like 2 or 3 years down the track, they might be able to see what you were searching for 2 years ago. Like, say, I don't know, if you're running for a political position or something. So, they might, just zone in on your IP or even on your account. Because everyone signs into Google Chrome, to remember passwords, remember history and everything. And so it's also remembering, and it's directly now tied to you rather than an IP address. So, yeah, it's all pretty crazy out there. You got to watch what's going on. But yeah, so Trend Micro, that's been taken off the App Store. So when will it come back? Who knows? They're probably going to have to update their code library or their software anyway. So yeah, it is worrying, Joe. Very worrying. All right, what have you got for us, Joe?
Yeah, I was just looking at a story here that it's not relevant at the moment, but just something for people to be aware of, is that some testers for Microsoft are testing what's called a warning label for Windows 10 users. When they go to install something like Chrome or Firefox or any other third-party browser, it's like a little warning to say, please don't install it. Would you please consider using the what's it called? The Edge instead.
Edge, yeah, right.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. Apparently, they say that it's going to be coming up with the October, the update, 2018 update. But this story that comes through on the Verge says that it understands that Microsoft is simply just testing this prompt for now, and it won't appear. But they may still do it further on in the future. It all depends, I guess, on how controversial and what sort of feedback they get from people.
Well, I guess also remember, is this going to cause trouble with all this antitrust business that Microsoft had issues with, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever over there in the EU, where, they forced Microsoft to stop auto-installing IE with Windows. Is this going down the same sort of path, where they're saying, okay, we got to have Windows, but then also all of a sudden a pop-up comes up and says, you got to use this more secure, don't use anything else. I don't know. Is that sort of treading a high wire there, or?
Yeah, look, I don't know. I sort of I don't use the Edge browser, not because it's no good or anything. I just got used to using Chrome now. So yeah. Look,
I think the Chrome I use Chrome predominantly all day, and that's the best one. I like, I liked how it does the passwords. I like how it does saves the password. I like the autofill. I like it's relatively quick. It works with the ATO. All these little things. Edge doesn't to 100% of do what the Chrome does. Edge is fast. I'll give it that. It is fast, and I'll take Microsoft for their word that it's secure, but more secure than Chrome. The only way maybe that would be maybe because Edge doesn't allow the third party as many or has more tighter control over the third party plugins. Chrome seems to be, I don't know. It appears that anyone can make a third party plugin up and throw it up on the Chrome store and people can install it. So whether or not how good that is, but yeah, that's my take on that one anyway.
Yeah, look, it's also, if you're using a third-party browser, say you're using Firefox or Opera or something like that, or even if you do sometimes for whatever reason turn on the Microsoft one, you'll always get a notification saying, "Would you like to switch back to Chrome?"
That's right.
Thanks. I want to use it for this particular moment, and so that's similar sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, when you say that you're going to browse something and then you'll get a sort of like a little pop-up saying, would you like to reconsider and use the Edge browser?
Yeah. So the pop-ups are going to come up I don't know. They're just going to be annoying.
Like the one you got there on the screen there, sort of like a little pop-up saying, would you rather use Microsoft Edge instead of installing Chrome or instead of installing Opera? Now, it's a bit like when you don't use and we're not using Chrome and you fire up a different browser and it says, would you like to switch over to Chrome or would you like it to be your default browser? Something similar to that.
Yeah, and I know it says here that you can turn these notifications off, but it's just another thing you got to do, isn't it? It's just another one of these annoyances. But I don't know. maybe Microsoft, they make Windows, so is it their call if they want to put these things in?
Apparently they are reaping up a lot of momentum now. Now that they want to try and get into the market with Amazon and a few other partners.
Right.
There looks like they're trying to really push it along now, because if they don't, they will fall behind, I think. So they're trying to do all sorts of little things. We're not saying that this is going to go ahead. They're just saying that they're testing it, and they're going to have a feeling for how people react to it, which if it was me, I'd say, nah, I don't like it.
Yeah. And look, I'm sure, as you mentioned, with that Chrome pop-in or pop-up, or the Chrome thing that says, do you want to use Chrome? If you do a Google on IE, it'll come up, do you want to use Chrome?
Yeah,
and
exactly right.
That must be a cookie somewhere that will remember your response. But see, because I use the C Cleaner, and every time I close a browser, I set it to, it removes a lot of this stuff. And obviously it's removing that cookie or that setting that tells it I've already said no. And but anyway, that's I'll have to look further into that when you get time. It's all when you get time, isn't it? Like, you just get no time to even do
yeah, sure is.
The little simple
this goes
things.
on to say, if I can just go on to my second story now.
Yeah, sure.
Cortana has a few flaws in it that could let hackers access a locked system.
Right.
Yes. Apparently some security researchers have identified some flaws in the Windows 10 voice activation system called Cortana that might or allow hackers to access the system that's already locked, like if you got your computer in the lock screen.
Yeah, I think this has been around for a little while? Like, there seems to every now and then these little lock screen hacks sort of come along, don't they? Especially with the voice activated things.
Yes, but I think this is a voice-activated one, yes. The flaw lets, for example, they said that with Cortana enabled, you could enable an attacker with a physical access to to carry out two kinds of unauthorized browsing on an unpatched system.
Yeah, right. But then again, the key there, Joe, is unpatched. So again, you've got to keep your stuff up to date.
Correct. Yeah, I'd make sure that you have it all updated and stuff. What they basically do is that they ask Cortana, because it responds whether the screen's open or not, like whether it's locked or not. They ask Cortana to open up a URL, and it does that in the background, and that URL is probably their own URL, which then allows them to run some sort of code. Yeah, so it's really...
Well, it says, that the flaw, open up the URL. The second flaw lets an attacker use a limited version of Internet Explorer 11 using the saved credentials of the victim. So it's all going on. There's a scenario... Yeah, so the Cortana privilege escalation leads to a forced navigation on the lock screen, as you said. It doesn't allow the attacker to unlock the device, but it does allow someone with physical access, as you said, to force Edge to navigate to a page of the attacker's choosing. Well, naughty.
Yeah, so how would you be? I mean, you want to... And I'm starting to think now, that sort of mentality, that sort of way of hacking people can also happen with, say, your Google or your Alexa.
Yeah, and I guess, this story goes on to say, how can we protect against the attack? Well, you can disable Cortana on your lock screen, but I guess that's probably one of the benefits, isn't it? Like, if your screen's locked, you can ask it to open up or tell you the time or something.
Exactly right. So, or can you tell me, what's happening in the news and.
But I guess at the end of the day, as you said, it's if everything's kept updated, Microsoft will be aware of this. They'll put a patch out. Like, there were some patches today that came through just before we started the show. My computer went through the normal, second Tuesday updates. They reach us about Wednesday or Thursday. So it goes through those. So you just, when you see them, you update. When you see the little Java updates at the bottom of your screen, you update that Java, because that's a pretty bad one. Update your antivirus. Update everything. I update everything, Joe. Every time I see something.
I used to update everything, but when Windows 7 was on, you had the option to update or not update. Windows 10 came along, and you really didn't have a choice. You had to update it. It automatically updated.
Yeah, it's I think you can turn them off. I think someone was telling me the other day. Sorry, I was just having a drink. Someone was telling me the other day that you can turn them off. It's not a good idea. I wouldn't do it. I don't know why people do it. Hey, Paul, I know you've told me.
Can you turn them off? I thought you couldn't turn them off.
I think you can limit them. I'm not sure if you can turn the security ones off, but I'm not sure. I know you can, definitely Windows 7 and Windows 8, as you said. But
Windows 10, I thought there was no option. It updates automatically.
There would be an option, say, on the Enterprise
Correct,
editions.
You're right. On the Enterprise or the non-consumer version, yes, there is an option, because that gets updated by the network administrator of the company.
I guess there might not be a nice little, or maybe not like a nice little GUI turn-offy switchy thing, but maybe you could go. No, you could dive into the bowels of the services and turn the service from starting at switch on. And that's probably
I guess you could do something like that, but you have to be careful. You got to know what you're doing.
Oh, that's right. I don't know why you'd even want to do that. Look, how to disable Windows 10 update in every way. So looks like, when was this? April 18. So this is pretty current. Windows 10 forces me to update. So it looks like that you can do it. Yeah, in the services. So you go to the services, you find your Windows update, and you turn it to manual.
Okay, well, in that case, now that's like that, I will probably go and look for that feature, and I'll probably use it, because I'm the kind of person that, okay, you get an update, and I don't want it to be updated right away. I'd rather wait a day or two.
And
then do the update, because sometimes an update could go wrong, or it's not a good update. It could be a bad update. And it can stuff up your whole system. And usually the automatic updates sometimes, unfortunately, cause problems for people.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that Microsoft has put out a bad update, and they've advised to go and delete it. Return it back to how it was. But I think Outlook. I think a few updates a little while ago affected Outlook like that. So. So for whatever reason, you can do it if you really need to. I just let it go. I just update. I've never really had a problem. Maybe years gone by, maybe that's the cause of some of my hair pulls. But
I actually did have a problem when I had Windows 10 first installed. After a few updates, for whatever reason, the update went bad on a laptop, and you believe it or not, I had to take it back to Dell, and Dell had a look at it and said, "No, we have to replace the hard drive." And I'm thinking, hang on, all it did was an update. There was nothing else wrong with it.
Yeah,
they had to replace the hard drive. Apparently, it had something to do with some communication between the CPU and the hard drive, and I don't know, something to do with that.
Maybe they just didn't want to deal with it, and they said, "Oh, we'll just reformat it." Maybe that was.
It wasn't even a reformat. It was just a complete replacement of the hard drive.
What, the machine, or they just give it another hard drive?
Yeah, when you say another hard drive. Put another hard drive in, reloaded Windows 10, and away she went, and they haven't had a problem since.
Yeah, right. I wonder if it's the same brand hard drive. I wonder. But anyway.
Interesting. I don't know. I have to see. I was going back a couple of years. I have to have a look. But yeah, that's what I had to do, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, you don't know sometimes, you do. You just don't know what causes these problems. Maybe it was a faulty to start with anyway. Look, I've got another, just going back to Apple again. Apple is to provide police with an online tool to request data. So you would remember that this has been in the news for a little while now, especially over in the US, where the FBI have been trying to, get Apple to unlock phones and release data and get access to iCloud and all this sort of stuff to try and help find terrorists and identify terrorists and whatever and whatnot. So Apple plans to create an online tool for police to formally request data about its users and to assemble a team to train police about what data can and cannot be obtained. So this was all according to a letter that's been seen by Reuters. So Apple can and does provide some user data, such as stored in its iCloud online service, to law enforcement officials. However, they have to make a valid request, and that's probably fair enough. Apple said it said in the letter that it had trained nearly 1,000 law enforcement officers in how to obtain data from the company. The training previously happened in person at Apple's headquarters, but Apple said it would now create an online training course and a team of trainers to help extend its reach to smaller departments. It said the training and portal is going to be opened up to, worldwide to all police forces, I guess, all approved ones in any case. Look, it is a tricky one, isn't it? Like, should people be able to? Should the government be able to hack into your personal data? It is a tricky one. I think if you've got something to hide, well, yes, short.
Go and buy yourself one of those Nokia banana phones.
Yeah, well, that's right. Exactly. They're cheap enough, aren't they? But yeah. So I think, like, if you're going to put your information in the cloud, it's like anything else. Like, nothing's private anymore, is it? Like, the government knows all about you anyway, whether it's through your tax file number, your ABN, your Medicare card, whatever. They know all about you. So they know where you live. They know Centrelink. They know everything. So does it really matter?
That's right. And there's a lot of deals being made under the table between different companies as well.
Yeah, well, that's right. And if you're worried about it, I don't know, get yourself a second phone with a dodgy iCloud account and all this sort of stuff. But then again, you're going to have to register the phone number somewhere, aren't you? And that's even, you need to provide driver's license numbers and so forth. But even so, like, what are the checks behind the scenes with that? Do you just give them a number? Do you make one up? Does that work? You know, do they actually punch the number into the driver's license system to make sure it matches? Maybe.
Yeah, you could probably do something like that, but how long would you be able to use that phone? You know what I mean? Like, everything's going in the way of, internet and, apps and, live streaming and everything's going in that sort of way, in that direction, that even making phone calls now, who remembers their phone calls for their companies and who remembers their phone calls for their friends? If you don't have a phone that's a smartphone, you can't even make a phone call these days.
No, well, you're right, because sometimes you got to, when you're filling out forms, it says, next of kin, name, phone number. And like, I can just remember even my wife's number. Like, you just don't look at these things every day. You don't need to remember these numbers. But, you going back in the years, like, you remember, I knew probably everyone's phone number.
Yeah, you're right. That's what you did. And you had it on the SIM card as well. So even if you replaced the phone and put on another SIM, put the SIM card on another phone, you still have all your phone numbers and stuff there.
Yeah, that's right. But it's all. And another thing that's a bit worrying is I'll talk about now, because I'm not sold on these driverless cars. The first of Perth's driverless taxi has arrived from the French manufacturer Navia for a closed track trial run by the Western Australian Royal Automobile Club, or the RAC. I guess, is that how they say it over there? Pronounce their acronym, the RAC. Perth is just one of these cities globally to test the autonom IntelliCar. Will allow users to book rides from the phone. The Autonom is shaped like a traditional car. I think I might have a picture of the Autonom. See if we can make that a little bit bigger. So it looks like a little taxi, doesn't it?
Yeah, that looks very similar to one of those little devices I went to at one of the Sydney exhibition shows, where it was a driverless car.
Yes. The IntelliCar features remote supervision capabilities, manual overrides, and emergency stop buttons. I'm still not sold. I don't know about you, Joe. Are you sold on these things?
Not for everyday on the road use, but I have, like I said, when I went to the exhibition down in Sydney in February, March this year.
Yeah.
Went into one of those driverless cars, and it was more like a van, similar to what you've got there shown. And its main focus was to take people around sites. Like if you have a big industrial site and you needed to transport workers backwards and forwards and so forth.
Yeah.
That was for that purpose. And I reckon for that purpose, it's great. But for on the roads, look, I don't know about that just yet.
Yeah, like how dodgy. I suppose it might just be the initial getting used to things, but even just, I was looking at a few other pictures of that car earlier, and just for something driverless to roll up and you get in, it's just really weird, isn't it? And then what do you just close the door and away you go and no one's driving? It's pretty wild. But just from the safety point of view, like, it's on the road. It's like it's a big, a ton of metal that's just hurling down the road at, even though this thing might be capped at 50k, it's still a ton of metal hurling around at 50k. Like, it does some damage if it hits you.
No, that's for sure.
And yeah, I'm just not sold on it. Look at your computer. We're just talking about how many glitches are there in computers. Cortana gets hacked. Updates coming out every 5 seconds. Like, no software is going to be impenetrable, and this could just be. I don't know. I'm just not sold on it. We'll see how it goes. But look, if I see one coming down the street, I'm going to hide behind a pole. I got in a driverless train, but that's all right because it's on a track, so I didn't mind too much. I think that was over when I was in,
and plus that's been overseen by someone at a like some sort of monitoring base, isn't it? It's still being seen by that one.
I would imagine so. This was at the airport over in San Francisco. It was, just like the loop that took you, that little train that took you around the loop of the airport, and it was a bit of a weird thing as well. But again, the train, you don't really see a driver in a train anyway, so it wasn't that weird. But yeah, no driver in a bus or a car. That's getting a bit weird. Where else you got? What else you got, Joe?
What else have I got?
Yeah. You got anything else?
Yeah, I do. Well, you know how Apple this morning released a new iWatch. Apparently, the Android smartwatches now are getting a new chip. They call it the Qualcomm next generation chip.
Right.
It's a processor for, it's called the Snapdragon Wear 3100. And the idea behind this one is it's meant to extend the battery life, enhance always-on displays.
Nice. And
offer more versatility when it comes to sports devices and fitness sensors.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, because I looked at these. I'll keep going if there's any more, Joe, because I'm starting to move on to the Apple Watch.
Yeah. So the new chip's key feature is the addition of a secondary low-power processor, which is supposed to handle most of the work when the watch isn't in use. This processor will power like a watch's sensors and ambient light. While it's doing that, it's using up to 20 times less energy than the main processor normally would.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so 95% of the time when you got your watch on, you're not actually using it to do anything. So that's where the big saving comes in with this new processor. When you're not actually doing anything, it sort of disables and slows down the rest of the tasks in the smartwatch.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Like, remember those? Do you remember the old watches that they used to wind up just by the movement of your day-to-day, just walking around and shaking?
Yeah, the kinetic ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder why that technology hasn't been more explored with watches, or isn't it like it might not be enough energy to power something? It might need a better source, maybe. But I'm sure they must have thought of, gone down that path when they were first doing them. But obviously,
you're
it wasn't
right.
suitable.
That's a good point. And also, why not even solar?
Yeah, that's right. Because I guess you are out in the sun, for at least 10 minutes every day, hopefully.
Well, I wouldn't disregard the fact that someone, Apple or somebody, is looking at somehow they can use the band or they can use the watch frame or something like that they can use it so they can, basically recharge it on the run.
Yeah, because I'll give these Android watches and all the other ones something is that you can get nice watch faces for them. The Apple ones you seem to. I think you're still stuck. I think you're still stuck with what they want to give you, which is
that's right.
A selection of not many. But So the Apple Watch that has been Apple Watch 4 was announced earlier this morning. That was part of the latest line of, say, updates to the Apple range, because it is an update year, I guess, with the S year as it's sometimes known. So let me have a look at what happens. So we've got I won't go into it too much because, if you want to hear more about it, just make sure you get that Aussie Max Zone special that's recorded on today, which is Thursday as well. But they'll go right into it. But the Apple iPhone XS Max, so that's That's the S version of the iPhone X. Apparently the X is no longer. Now it's the XS. It's bigger. It's the Apple released the iPhone X in only one size, 5.8. The XS Max is 6.5 inch. So that's getting quite big. What's the size of a Mac Mini screen? Isn't that about 7?
Well, I was just thinking that. I wonder whether the reason they've stopped making a Mac Mini is because they were going to introduce something like this.
The phone. I've got a Mac Mini here. Is that the phone? Is that the size of the phone?
Yeah, the iPad Mini, sorry.
Yeah, the iPad Mini, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering whether they stopped producing those because they were talking about making this phone.
Yeah. Why can't they just put the dialer on it? Oh, I suppose it's not 4G. Yeah. Well, who knows? But anyway, they're getting bigger. Remember the time back with the Nokias? They were getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You couldn't get
for sure.
That was the rage. You couldn't get one small enough, and now you can't get one big enough.
I've got one here.
What's that one? Oh, yeah, that's the tiny little thing.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what one's that? What model's that?
This one here, I think it's the 88 something, 8810 or something like that. I think this came out pretty much when the 8810 slide came out, around about that time.
Oh, okay, nice. Why have you got that there? Are you using that one?
I'm not using it. I picked it up not long ago, and I had it sitting here, and believe it or not, it's still got the micro USB charger on it.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
And this has also got Bluetooth in it, so it's a bit more advanced than the others. But yet, the form factor is still very small.
Yes, it is.
It's got the camera and everything on it still, with a flash.
And that's just mentioned cameras. Like that seems to be the only thing that these companies just when they bring out a new phone, they just go on about the camera improvements. Like I don't really care, to be honest. Like they're good enough. They're good enough for me anyway. But we'll just move quickly through all the Apple stuff, just so you guys know. There's an Apple iPhone XR. This is a new one, apparently the new name. The iPhone XR comes with a 6.1 inch LCD display. It's wrapped up in an aluminium frame. It's apparently more durable. It's notched because the iPhone has Face ID. No home button. Apple calls the new LCD a liquid retina. Supposed to look better than its predecessors. The Apple Watch Series 4, thinner case, larger screen, a new heart rate sensor, and can also do electrocardiograms or ECGs. It also lets you know. It also knows if you fall down. So apparently, if you fall down, slip, trip, whatever, and you don't move for a minute, it will phone emergency other watches do this.
That's pretty good, I reckon. That's a pretty good feature.
Yeah, and apparently it knows also the type of fall, if it's a trip, a slip, or a push, or whatever. The fourth generation Apple Watch has presented supposedly the sleekest health device on the market. There's an improved accelerometer. That not only knows if you're falling down, I've just said that. The updated heart rate sensor, which is encased in a ceramic shell with a sapphire crystal, sounds pretty, razzle-dazzle. That will also tell you more about how your heart beats and will even make it easy to print out those records and take it to your doctor. The Apple Watch Series 4 starts at, I'm not sure if these are US prices or not. It was from an AU website, though. $599 for the GPS model and $749 for the GPS Plus mobile model. They're all getting up there. These iPhones, just quietly, that they were up at around the $2,000, to buy. Like, geez. But
you're looking at the higher sort of specs for that. You're like, was it the 512 gigabyte version is up to around about the 1500 plus mark?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fully they're fully specced out, but I don't know. Geez, that's a lot of money to, in a mobile device that can be dropped and stolen and whatever quite easily. Don't know. I'd have to get another job before I can start buying one of those things, I think. What else is there? The iOS 12. Okay, so when all these things going to be released? So the iPhone XS and the XS Max September 14 start shipping September 21. iPhone XR will start on October 19, available October 26. Apple Series Watch 4 on sale September 14, in-store September 21. iOS 12, which will be on September 17. The public beta has been available for most of the winter. The Mac OS Mojave The next update, the operating system, says Huawei is due for an official release September 24. So not too long to go, like only a week and a bit. Watch OS 5, September 17. And HomePod software update. So the Apple Series is getting, the speaker is getting Apple Siri as an update. Apple will start, making it available, and once it is, you'll be able to make calls with the new feature. So you'll be able to talk to the HomePod and make a call through it, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is. But the HomePod's about 500. So,
But I also read somewhere, and I didn't announce it this time, but I also read somewhere that they were introducing a smaller pod at a cheaper rate as well.
Right, okay, right. I wonder what they're going to sacrifice, the size of the speaker or the quality of the speaker.
Most likely.
Did you have another one, Joe? Any more from you this week?
Well, just going on with what Apple was doing there, apparently they're going to discontinue the iPhone X and the iPhone SE and the iPhone 6S. They're going to be removed from the US market. So I'm guessing shortly after to be removed everywhere else. Apparently there's no good reason to have to buy one of these new phones anymore, except for the fact that it might be exclusivity of owning one of the phones that was bought out like for the 10th anniversary of the original iPhone. Right. And the other thing as well is maybe you might want to keep one because it's the first iPhone introduced that has the notch on the top of it.
Yep. No home button.
That's right, no home button, and it was the first one that was introduced that had the AirPods.
That's correct. So should I be keeping my 6S or should I sell it?
I'd get rid of it, unless you want to keep it in your drawer for another 20 years or so.
Probably wouldn't turn on in 20 years.
Oh, don't doubt that. I picked up one of the old, very early 3GS phones, the ones I said that I used many, many years ago.
Yeah. I
picked it up out of the drawer, and it was dead as a doornail. So I picked it up and plugged it in, charged it, and it looked like it wasn't going to charge. So I said, "Oh, bugger it, I'll just leave it there for a few hours." I went back and it was fully charged.
How long did it last? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't know. I never used it. I just wanted to see whether I could still get a charge out of it and turn it on, and it did.
Well, no.
There was a whole heap of apps that were looking to be updated. The Wi-Fi and everything still works fine.
Yeah, because I know. Here it is. Here I know. I got this. I pulled this out of the cupboard the other day. A little iPod. So I'll probably keep that fella.
Yeah, keep that. That's going to increase in value soon.
Yeah, because you don't know, like those things. They don't take up much space. They're probably not worth. What's it worth? What would you sell it for? $50? You'd rather keep it for that. So yeah, I'll keep that one. But the 6S, in two minds about that. So we'll see what happens. But my last story for this week, and we're going to start wrapping it up, is a Foxtel GO. I got a bit of a surprise this week. I loaded up the Foxtel GO while I'm down here in the office. And it says, we have got a new version. Watch us on the browser, and you can now watch in HD. And I went, yippee yahoo, how good's this? So Foxtel GO has received an upgrade, letting you watch on tablet, smartphone, and PC, Mac, and browsers, while Chromecast and AirPlay. Oh, that's the biggest thing, the Chromecast and AirPlay functionality. If you sign up for multi-room Foxtel, if you sign up for Foxtel Multi-Room, you'll be able to use the Chromecast on this new Foxtel GO, which is good because, as always with everything, there's always ways around things. Like when I was watching the footy on a TV that didn't have the Foxtel box onto it, I would just plug the computer in, HDMI lead into the TV and do it that way. No problems. A bit of a hassle, but but now, just Chromecast, a lot easier, but I was still doing it anyway. So, Foxtel's not losing anything or making anything out of me because I was still doing it, but it's just a bit easier and it's HD. So I'm loving it. So customers can register Foxtel GO on multiple devices and watch it on two screens at the same time. It's available for download on the App Store for iPads, iPhones, Google Play for Android smartphones, tablets can be watched PC via Google Chrome or Safari. Watch Foxtel GO. We're told that new customers can be up and running as soon as they sign up, without the need to wait for the main service to be installed. So that's that's good. So it should be. This is all so it should be. Not it's good, but it's so it should be. So Foxtel GO, the new features. Yeah, if you like closed captions, blah blah blah. The addition of HD support, blah 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 blah. So that's good. Good news. So if you're on with the Foxtel GO, make sure you get the new app or watch it in the computer browser, and you'll be right. You'll be able to get
That's really good news, because I had Foxtel GO on my phone, and every time I tried to connect it via, whether it was a Chromecast or any other way to try and connect it to the TV, it wouldn't work. You'd get sound, but you get no picture. So I'm really pleased now that they've allowed access.
Yeah,
the Chromecast.
Well, their Foxtel Now came out with the Chromecast access, I guess, and that's what had me thinking. Well, what's the point in having the different system? Or why not let Foxtel GO do the same thing? And now, thankfully, it's like that. So, I think that's great. It makes me a bit happier paying the Foxtel subscription. So, I'm a bit happier. Yeah, for sure. I can.
So it's saying here that you can use it on the AirPlay. Would it also work on the iTV?
The Apple TV?
Apple TV, Apple TV.
Yeah, that's what it's for. Yeah.
As an app.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know.
So if you install the app on the Apple TV, will it work? I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm just thinking.
I don't know. I don't have one of those Apple TVs. I've got the version 3, I think, where you can't do nothing with anymore. But it just says it is available in the App Store for iPads and iPhones. I don't know if it would go that far.
Because that'll be ideal if you've got an Apple TV. It's just like having an Android box, actually.
But you can still AirPlay to it anyway. So that's all right. You'd live with that, wouldn't you, Joe? Just be able to AirPlay to it anyway?
I don't actually have an iPad. Well, I do. It's one of the second gen iPad. But I think what happened when I did the update on that, it got stuffed up by the battery and it doesn't last very long now.
Right, okay. So, but you got the Apple TV?
I've got Apple TV as well.
Right. But you got a Chromecast?
I have a Chromecast as well.
Oh, you just use that. Works brilliantly. The PC browser one's a bit jittery. I'm not excited about it at the moment, but they're probably going to work a few things out. I'll be watching the show. It'll just stall because you can rewind it like 30 minutes. So each channel you go onto, you can just drag it back for 30 minutes, and maybe that's why it's stalling for me. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. It's good. Works for me, so it's great. All right, let's get out of here, Joe. And unless you got anything else to say, you got anything else?
No, that's fine.
All right, good stuff. All right, thanks everyone for listening. It's another episode. Hope you found some enjoyment or some interest in some of those stories. Not too much around. Apple sort of sucks up the week, doesn't it? When anything Apple happens, it sucks up the oxygen in the room, and everything's about that. But if you want to know more, I know Michael's doing a special Aussie Mac Zone, and I know he's doing it tonight because that's the reason we're going right now, because he's kicking us off the Zoom. So, all right. So, thanks everyone for downloading. You can contact me or Joe, Glenn, or Joe at aussietechheads.com.au. Like us on the Facebook, like us on the YouTube, and we'll get out of your ears. Okay, thanks, Joe, for coming in. We'll see you next week.
Yep, definitely. See you later, Glenn.
Lovely. And see you guys. See you all next week. And hopefully go the Sharks tomorrow night, Friday night against the Penny Panthers. Good on you, Steve. Talk to you Saturday. Hope I'm having a smile. Bye-bye.
See ya.